national survey. We are talking to you today about the latest OCTA Tugon ng Masa survey, where Tugon ng Masa is a non-commissioned, of course. And the results are Marcos's trust ratings were at 64%, which is a 4-point increase from the last one. So it went from 60 to 64 this month. Yung performance rating naman, so a 3-point increase to 62%. So nasa 62% na po si President Marcos. Whereas for Vice President Sara Duterte, we're seeing a marginal decline. It fell to 54% from 58%. Yung trust ratings, while her performance rating dropped by 6 points to 50%. So she's at the halfway mid-level mark. To what do we attribute these changes, Professor?
Well, that's the question of the day, no? Whether it's trust or performance. I think that in the case of the president, it may be clearer to argue that many of the government short-term, one could argue, populist initiatives kicked in from April to July. Not to mention the fact that when you look at the statistics, the everyday statistics, joblessness went down. And in April, both SWS and the OCTA saw a decline in self-rated poverty. So, putting all of this together, it's possible that this may have driven the numbers of the president up, no? Lalo, given the fact that, ayuda was so, widely distributed. When you look at ACAP, just before the elections, it was around 20% already distribution. And all the other ayudas, no, different forms, no, were distributed. Rice went down marginally in certain areas. So all of these put together, it's possible that this may have driven the improvement in the president's number for the second quarter. And I think we're not the only ones seeing it. Yung nga lang sa amin, hindi masyado dramatic. But when you look at the granular improvements, it's across the board, except for in Mindanao, and across age groups. Now, that's a complete contrast when you talk about VP Sara, who basically, continues to be the same political actor that she was in the first quarter. She's basically, when you talk about the cabinet, she's politically irrelevant there. Okay, she's been out. So we don't know really what caused her numbers to go down, except to say that the biggest news during that period was really the impeachment. And then with her numbers, you look at the numbers of Senator Chis Escudero, which, by the way, went down, when you look at the granular level, significantly in Balance Luzon and NCR, double digit. So these two individuals were the ones who lost ground in the second quarter. Their numbers went down. And I can only really think of, the political noise created by the impeachment. This was after June, after the case was remanded back, after all the protests. And remember, this July survey was done July 12 to 17, and this was before the Supreme Court decision, before the Sona, definitely.
Prof, bakit ang laki ng difference dun sa surveys in terms of approval ratings ng Presidente at other officials doon sa PULSE at saka SWS dito sa OCTA? Pwedeng sabihin, ipaliwanag, to explain away na perhaps iba yung panahon, iba yung
I'll go back to that,
pero ang laki.
Talagang it's really
Ang laki,
a different
Prof,
period.
diba? Yung 25 to 35%, tapos ito ay 60-64%. Parang
baka nasa sampling. I guess it's in a sample size.
A huge na difference. But when you look at OCTA's numbers, it's apples and oranges to a great extent between survey companies, no? But when you look at our numbers from last year to this year, they've been really within a band. They've been going up and down, and in the case of the president, he's been on a downward trend. Both the vice president and the president are on a downward trend. When you look at the big picture, no, the long durée in French, no, the long period of study, no, since they started, it's really been a downward trend. But the vice president's reversal of trend happened in the first quarter, and now she's down again. And the president's reversal, upward improvement, just happened this quarter. So successively, it's been going down for the last 2-3 quarters. And this is the only time that his numbers actually improved marginally. But then again, when you look at the granular data, these are there's significant changes in Balance Luzon, in the National Capital Region, in Visayas. Distrust also went down in certain areas. But for the Vice President, distrust went up close to 10%. And this was in Balance Luzon and in the National Capital Region. I really can't explain because that's their survey. This is ours. Except to say that there are different periods, different spots where we do the survey, conduct the survey in. And this is where what we're seeing.
Pero sabi niyo, Prof, apples and oranges eh. Can you explain that more? Paano pag sinabing apples and oranges, magkakaiba siya eh? Ano yung pagkakaiba rito? Bakit ganun kalaki yung agwat?
Yung period po, sa kanila ho, June sila nag-take ng last survey nila to my knowledge. Kami itong July 12 to 17. So kaya ito yung siguro major difference. Yung kung saan kami kumukuha siguro ng aming mga sentimiento, no? Yung aming sentimiento, yung sentimiento na mga pinagkukuhaan namin interviewees iba rin siguro kasi we're randomly choosing this all around the country. So this is possibly why there's a difference. But I'm more comfortable talking about my survey, Sec Ronald. I hope you don't mind, except to say that methodologically, there might be some differences in where we choose our interviews, when we do it, and the periods, that the context when we take the surveys. Remember, there was a significant number of political events in the latter part of June, mid to latter part, with regards to the impeachment. There were significant protests all over the country, no, because of the implications of the Senate decision. We may have captured that in our own surveys.
Yeah. Sir, what about Mindanao? Any significant movements in the numbers dun sa Mindanao, whether for BBM or for VP Sara?
Wala namang masyadong significant, no? Except that it's still strongly
Duterte country.
and performance ratings of VP Sara continue to be relatively higher than the president in those areas. Interesting here is really si Senator Chis Escudero kasi the first time to see a dip of this nature as far as these numbers are concerned. So all we can think of really as a major driver is really the issue with the impeachment.
Yeah.
Now this squares off with our earlier survey, which we released last week, where 8 out of 10 Filipinos want the trial to continue. So I think the data is fairly consistent as far as our OCTA surveys are concerned. So yeah, I guess that's it for us. No, we hope that the president can sustain this momentum moving forward, but it will require that the performance is sustained, and that would mean exactly what he said in the Sona. Programs, initiatives, projects are actually implemented quickly.
Speaking of the Sona, Prof, it was largely a very populist Sona. The president basically listed. So a lot of the analysts we've spoken to feel like they didn't get much by way of policy shift or direction. Pero he did, list all of the achievements in terms of basic services, basic governmental services. He talked about expanding healthcare and education and agriculture. So it's a largely a populist Sona. How without asking you to try to forecast the numbers, how do you think that might influence his numbers moving forward? Ito na ba yung sinasabi nila that he's speaking directly to the larger electorate?
Yeah, I hope that he is able to actually keep to his promises, because what we heard in the Sona are largely promises. The existing programs already and the rollout of those programs will likely impact on his trust and performance levels in the third quarter when we measure it sometime in September. No, and the same for VP Duterte, no, because of the impeachment. And now, her numbers went down, but now that the impeachment is over, we're thinking that this could be a positive thing for her. It might just have a positive impact on her trust and performance ratings. Because let's look at it, from one perspective. She hasn't been doing anything naman as significant as vice president. She's out of the country. But in the first quarter, her numbers really improved significantly, almost double digit. Now, in the second quarter, it went down, well, marginally to some extent. But what could be the possible driver of that decline? And we're saying that it's the impeachment. Now that it's done, it's over. It's possible, if our hypothesis is correct, that her numbers might actually improve in the third quarter if she becomes more actively involved in initiating her programs. We see the same thing for Senator Chis Escudero, because now that in a sense the political cost and risk has been borne by the Supreme Court with their final decision on the impeachment, that his numbers will also recover.
Prof, I caught that. You think the impeachment is over?
I don't know. Well, it seems like we don't know if the drama will continue, but I don't see it moving forward the way we envisioned it to move forward. There will be some settlement. My guess, I don't know. It's just my guess that there'll be some discussion about it in the plenary, but there'll be no convening of the impeachment court, as the Senate President has already articulated a few days ago.
Prof, may plano ba kayong gumawa ng survey in relation to that?
Actually, meron kaming probe. Meron na kaming probes on the impeachment and on ICC. Yung sa impeachment namin kasi it's embargoed, no? But what I'm saying here, what essentially I'm saying is a significant number of Filipinos feel that the Vice President is innocent, and that the impeachment court trial, I should say, would provide a venue to clear her name. And that's why ang taas ng we were criticized by some of the critics and pro Duterte columnists na they can't understand bakit ang taas. Because a lot of people don't see the impeachment just as pananagutan or accountability. A lot of people also think of it as due process, a chance for the Vice President to clear her name. And the assumption there, of course, is that a lot of them think that she's basically innocent, and this is a form of political harassment. So that's why the numbers are high, even in Mindanao. We were also surprised by it. We tweaked the question a little bit to conform to the suggestion of one of the staunchest critics, from the who's perceived to be aligned with the Dutertes, a columnist. But we got an even higher number. In April to 78, now it's 80%. So, while the change is nominal, it shows that there is a consensus around the idea that she has to clear her name.
In relation...
And definitely, she won't be able to clear her name
without a trial.
Political cost also, if you look at the calculation, she'll only be able to clear her name in next year, in Feb.
In relation dito sa dismissal ng Supreme Court, meron ba kayong survey?
Meron kaming survey results, although we haven't released, for example, did the Senate take too long? Or should the Senate have started the impeachment hearings? Yes, the answer is yes. Majority say that the Senate should have started the Supreme Court hearings earlier. But we haven't released the formal report yet. And sense parang we're not seeing it as more important than the other survey reports that we're going to release tomorrow and the day after, which focus on the trust and approval ratings of both the House and the Senate, the trust and approval ratings of the armed forces and the police. So please expect that these reports will come out as soon as possible. And then our economic probes, trust and urgent national and personal concerns, hunger and poverty. See, what the important image is that in April we saw a significant change in what you call hunger and self-rated poverty.
Right.
Now will be sustained in the second quarter, and that, I think, Regina, will answer your question. If that worsens, then you can expect that the presence numbers will
Yeah.
also decline.
Well, we look forward to getting these reports, and I hope you release them to us first, but no pressure. Thank you so much for your time
We
today.
always release to you guys first. Yeah.
OCTA Research President Professor Ranjit Rye.
Thank you,
so
Prof.
much.
Thank you.
sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
guys. Thank you.
Thanks for joining Storycon today. We're overtime once again.